All right, let's go ahead and jump right into business this morning. Saying good morning to our business editor, Mike Eppel. Mike, a little stumble in the markets this morning.
Yeah, a little bit. Good morning, Sarah. We're seeing the markets react to commentary from top officials in the United States. Yesterday, it was Dr. Anthony Fauci in that Senate hearing saying, look, if you reopen the economy too quickly and you don't have everything in place, testing and what have you, well, then you run the risk of a second wave of COVID-19 later in the year, and then you're back to square one. So stocks retreated in Tuesday's trade. This morning, the head of the U.S. Central Bank, Jay Powell, is talking about the economic expectations. And he's being very cautious, saying, look, this thing is going to last longer than they had hoped. The economic downward risk is not without, it's without precedent, in his words. And they're probably going to spend even more money. They're already $4 trillion on the hook for the U.S. Central Bank, $2.5 trillion. The numbers make your head explode a little bit, and because it's surreal, right? So what's another trillion amongst friends? In fact, the Democrats this morning are talking about a $3 trillion spending package out of the U.S. government. It's just they're printing money by the bushel full, and we don't know. You're fighting a the best explanation I heard was you're fighting a medical crisis with economic policy, and that might not necessarily be the best strategy.
Right.
Got to get the medical policy in place first.
If they want to toss $1 trillion our way, I think we could, okay, let's talk about Uber Eats.
Sure.
There are rumors that they would like to buy Grubhub, but you're saying that might not happen.
Okay, so Uber is not exactly in the best books of policymakers. They're seen as predatory, right? They come into a market. I mean, it took forever for Uber to get into Vancouver, for goodness sakes, and just got licensing for that earlier this year. But they are a disruptor. So a lot of policymakers push back against things like that. Now they want to buy Grubhub. Why? Because what has grown in the pandemic shutdown is food delivery. So Uber says, okay, that's a growing business. We'll spend some money on that. Mm-hmm. Ride hailing, not so much. People are going to be very cautious about, getting into a cab or an Uber vehicle or Lyft,
right? Yeah,
because of social distancing. They want to drive. People want to drive themselves, fine, whatever. So it's going to be interesting to see if the deal happens and whether or not it gets regulatory pushback.
Okay. Before I let you go, what's going on here? Are you growing a goatee?
No, it's parallel universe, evil Apple. It's a Star Trek reference. Mr. Spock grew a goatee when he was evil that time.
Evil Apple? When did we ever meet Pleasant Apple? This is a mystery. I'll see you tomorrow, okay, Mike?
You're not wrong.
You can hear more from our business editor, Mike Eppel, on 660. But right now, at 14 minutes past 8 here on Breakfast Television, let's take a look at the markets.
This portion of BT is brought to you by 660 News, Calgary's breaking news, weather, and traffic station.